Well, hello there, everyone. It's great to be back on Your TV to provide an update for the city of Belleville as we deal with these COVID-19 times. This update is for the week of March the 29th. It's the last week of March, and we're looking forward to April coming around the corner. This update is a little bit more serious than perhaps before, or a little bit more concerning, because as of Tuesday of this week, we have 39 active cases, and we've been talking about 4 active cases or 6 active cases. Well, big jump this week. We had days of 9 and 8 and then 3, which has really increased our cases. So much so that Dr. Oglaza from the Hastings and Prince Edward Health Unit has issued what's called a Section 22 order. So under the authority that he has through the Provincial Health Acts, he can issue these orders. And this order is really designed to stop the spread of COVID that's in our community. So let's talk about it. There are limitations now on no more indoor or outdoor social gatherings of more than 5 people. That includes when you go to a restaurant, you cannot sit in groups of more than 5 at a table. It also means that people that are from outside of our health unit cannot make reservations at restaurants. They cannot stay in hotels, Airbnbs. They can't go to the salon to get their hair done, and they can't go for medical appointments. These are specifically designed for people who are spending prolonged periods of time or are taking their masks off. So for example, when you go to one of the large stores, you're wearing your mask the whole time. And so you're walking around. They're not so concerned as if you're getting together at a restaurant where you're taking your mask off and you're sitting for 45 minutes at a time, enjoying a meal and talking. It's also when you're close to, at the barber shop, for example. While my haircut goes really, really quickly, as you can see, some people are there for a half an hour or for 40 minutes, and their hairstylist is in with close proximity. And that's when we see this COVID spreading. And so these steps that Dr. Oglaza has brought in, I think, are entirely responsible and practical, and we welcome them, particularly those that are designed to prevent people from coming outside of our region. This weekend is going to be Easter, and a lot of families get together, and that is exactly the problem. And so, I ask you, do not travel outside of our health unit this weekend. Don't have people come in from other parts of Ontario this weekend. I know it's hard. I know we've given up so much, but we have done so well for so long. We don't want to blow it now. It's really important. When we talk about the reasons why these are of a concern, is that not only do we have these 39 active cases, but 15 different variants of concern are now in our region, and they are spreading faster, and they're spreading to younger people. And that is the concern. While we are still good here in terms of hospitalizations, there is critical situations in other parts of Ontario. So again, I know we've all given up a lot. I know it's been difficult. Let's not travel for Easter this weekend. If we continue to do what we need to do, we're going to be through this, but it's really, really important. The good news is why we can look at light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to COVID is vaccinations. And this week we got to just under 27,000 people who have been vaccinated in our region already, including 1,920 people who've gotten their second dose. So that is great news. Again, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but there's absolutely no need to travel this weekend outside of our community. Where you're here, wear a mask, wash your hands, watch your distance. And we are going to have, I think, one colder day this week, and then it warms up. So get some exercise outside, walk, use our beautiful trails, use our parks, enjoy that beautiful sunshine and the rain that we're going to get. But please be careful. Really ask you to do that. Well, this was an important week for the city of Belleville because this was budget week. And what I mean by that is on Tuesday this week, Belleville City Council sat down and did our budget discussions, our operating budget. You may remember last year, because of COVID, we delayed that until July, and we had some real challenges as we were scrambling. We were in complete shutdown. Our services were not being utilized, and so we had to wait until July. This year, we have a better understanding of where we are with COVID and where we're going. We're planning on having a full array of services, outdoor services this summer. So our soccer and our baseball and our playgrounds will all be open. Everything's going well. The harbor, and we're going to return back to the service levels you've been used to. Last year the grass got a little longer, and we weren't quite as on top of it as we had been in the past. That's because we didn't hire a lot of seasonal positions. And the good news is this year's budget includes that. So I can show you that this is my binder from the 2021 operating budget, and we dealt with the capital part of it back in November. And then this week we finalized it on the operating side. It is about $181 million budget for the city of Belleville. That includes, as I said, our capital, our operating budget, but also our water and our wastewater. We accepted today in a council meeting a tax increase of 1.4%, which is the lowest tax increase of any municipality in our region this year. And I remind everybody that last year we had something that we've never had before, a negative tax increase. So last year with that negative 0.6% Belleville urban tax increase, that means that over 2 years, we're averaging about 0.8% increase in your taxes. And that is, I said, unheard of. Many municipalities last year had 2 or 3% increases. And on top of that, they went in with a higher increase that we had. We're really proud of how hard our staff have worked and how hard council worked to get this there. We're very, as I said, proud of this responsible budget. What I would say is that based on an average assessment in Belleville Urban, which is the where about 80% of our properties are located in Belleville, that's about $57.51 per year more than you would have paid in the past. So that's about $1 a week that we're having extra. And as I said, all of our costs have gone up, and it is more expensive. But we're proud of this budget that's going there. I also want to point out $6 million was given to us by the federal and provincial governments to help us with COVID-19 related expenses. So we really want to say thank you to them. Many people live in different parts of the city. As I said, in Belleville Urban, the tax increase this year will be 1.4%. But if you live in Canafton Urban, so in those Settlers Creek, Canaf Mills, those new areas, we're looking at about a 1.45% property tax increase, or $57.12. So slightly less on that average assessment there. But if you live in Canafton Rural, and so you don't have those city services, you're paying about 0.7% increase this year, approximately $25.85 a year, which is quite reasonable. And if you're in Belleville Rural, so if you're on active farmland, your increase this year, 0.29%, which is very, very low. And I know that you appreciate it. We also recognize that our businesses have struggled this year. And so we're trying to keep taxes low for them. And with the relief that the province of Ontario has given in the form of education tax reductions, I can tell you that if you own a business in Belleville Urban, your taxes are going to go down 7.93%. That's a negative 7.93%. If you're in Canafton Urban, so in the village of Canafton, or if you're north of the 401 along Highway 62, your taxes are going to go down negative 8.2%. And so, last year when we got into COVID, what we really strived to do was 2 things. First of all, ensure that residents could rely on the services that they get from the city of Belleville. And the second was to try to understand the financial impact this made on residents and businesses. And I think that over the last couple of years, this has come through loud and clear. And I hope that you appreciate it. I know that I hear from so many people who do appreciate how the city of Belleville's performed through COVID in this calm, cool, and collected manner. But I just want to say thank you to our city staff for working on this and bringing this forward and helping us. In addition to the money that we receive from the federal and provincial governments, some of the things that are the bright spots in this year's budget include an increase from $600 to $700 for the low-income seniors property tax credit, and that's designed to help keep seniors in their homes. We also are funding the community improvement plan to subsidize the construction of rental accommodation in Belleville. $850,000 will be available to builders and developers to provide an incentive for them to build purpose-built rental housing, which we're desperately short of in Belleville. And we also are expanding transit. We're doing a pilot project to bring transit into Ward 2. And so those are the urban areas north of the 401. And that will start in September. And we anticipate that school, including Loyalist College, will be back in person for classes in September. And that transit will be really timely there. In addition, you may have heard in the past some discussion about the Parks and Recreation Master Plan. And a big part of that was expanding our outdoor areas. You know, COVID has really caused us to really come to appreciate our beautiful open spaces, outdoor spaces, and we want to make improvements. But we need staff to help us do the planning. And I'm talking about things like not just the drawings and the renderings that need to be done, but also applying for permits, getting permission from pipeline or utility companies, so we're able to go over top of them, their services, the applications, getting permissions from groups like Quinte Conservation, the site work, tendering the project, all the architectural work, all those things, we need some people to do it. And we created a new position called Parks Planner in this budget this week, and that will allow us to move ahead with those projects, and there'll be some good news coming out of that. In addition to the master plan, we also are working actively on projects like the Thurlow Dog Park, the Fairgrounds Outdoor Recreation Facility, which will include an outdoor rink and basketball and a playground and splash pads. The Hillcrest property, where we've had a number of public information meetings where we're getting feedback so that in addition to the lawn bowling club and the new children's safety village, that we'll have a whole array of outdoor activities there. But also coming soon, some news on Bayshore Trail expansion in the city of Belleville, something that has not been done since we believe George Zagoras was the last mayor to be in office when that happened. So these are some of the projects that are coming with the city. Of course, we had a very ambitious capital budget for this year, and those projects are going straight ahead. But this was a really satisfying budget for, I think, all of us on Belleville City Council because of how difficult the times are and the fact that we were able to deliver this fiscally responsible budget, recognizing the unique times, but not taking our foot off the accelerator for growth in our community. Growth has reduced the cost for us a lot this year. It's given us that revenue that we could reduce the increase this year. And we are primed to come out of this recovery really, really strong. You know, the downturn because of COVID has been significant. But I believe that the upturn that comes after we get through COVID will be much stronger. So the bounce back will be much stronger than the setback. And we're counting on that going forward. And I think our city council have taken the steps to ensure that is very strong for our region. So that's it from me for this week for an update from the city of Belleville. Again, I'll remind everybody that if they have any questions or any comments, please contact me through my City Hall office. You can also contact any of your Belleville City councilors, and we encourage you to do so. This is a weekend for a lot of people who will be celebrating Easter. And last year, you know, all of our churches and houses of worship were closed. It's not back to normal yet. We're still restricted in many of those things, but I hope that you take a moment to remember the reasons for this time of the year, what it means in terms of hope and peace and rebirth for all of mankind. And on behalf of my family and all of us on Belleville City Council, we want to wish you a very happy Easter weekend, however you celebrate it. We ask you to celebrate it at home within your own social unit, but we hope you enjoy it. And I'll be back next week for another update from the city of Belleville as we deal with these COVID-19 times.